Ever worry that your work feels so important and meaningful that it's doing you harm rather than good? Let's see what the science suggests. Hi there, Michelle here from McQuaid TV. We're helping you find ways to move from functioning to flourishing by putting the latest science to the real-world test. Now, while many of us long for jobs that are more meaningful, some of us find ourselves in roles that feel so filled with purpose, it's hard to stop and switch off. For example, one year I went to my eldest son Charlie's parent-teacher interview at school, and his poor teacher had the flu and had almost completely lost her voice. "Go home," I told her, "we'll all understand." "But I can't let the parents down," she said. Don't get me wrong, she was a wonderful teacher, but given teacher wellbeing has been found to have the biggest impact on our kids' likelihood of flourishing at school, I would have rather she went home and rested. Likewise, a friend recently asked me, outside of your work and your family, what else are you making time for? Well, the problem I explained was that my work, my hobbies and my friends all tend to revolve around the world of positive psychology, and right now I really enjoy that about my life. But I did take her point. When I need to stop and switch off, can I? Perhaps like Charlie's teacher, a little more time away from my work would benefit everybody. But let's be honest, finding this balance can be really hard when you love what you're doing and feel that it's making a positive difference for others. So, can too much meaning really be a bad thing? Well, drumroll please. Let me be clear, studies have found that finding meaning in your work seems to have a lot of benefits. Researchers suggest it improves our well-being, it leaves us feeling more satisfied with our lives, and it lowers our levels of hostility, stress, and depression. It also appears to increase our level of job satisfaction, career commitment, and organisational commitment, which is why so many workplaces are trying to find ways to make work more meaningful for us. But Professor Robert Vallerand also suggests that when it comes to finding meaning and purpose in our work, we can have too much of a good thing. Take a moment and think about these questions. Firstly, if you were to divide yourself up like a pie, how big would your work slice be? Secondly, are you able to stop working when you want to, or do you feel driven to do just one more thing? And finally, do you have enough energy to keep up with the demands of your work? You see, Vallerand has found that for some of us, work becomes an obsessive passion. It defines who we are and why we matter. And as a result, we have an uncontrollable urge to engage in it and feel compelled to undertake it. We start telling ourselves that we must, we need, and we have to get things done. We find it hard to stop thinking about our work, and we get frustrated when we're prevented from working and persist even when it's risky or we know we should stop. As a result, we generally wind up feeling torn between our passion and the rest of our life, leading to higher levels of negative effect over time and putting us at risk of burning ourselves out. The alternative, Vallerand has found, is to cultivate a sense of harmonious passion for our work. So instead of defining ourselves by our work, we need to balance it with other equally important parts of our life and feel that we have a sense of control over what work requires of us. Now, this enables us to experience more intrinsic joy because we realise that we want to, that we get to, and we can't wait to get things done. It helps us to disengage and switch off so we can enjoy other activities in our lives, and it enables us to recognise when pursuing an idea becomes too risky. When work feels harmonious with the rest of our lives, Vallerand has found that we experience higher levels of physical health, psychological well-being, self-esteem, positive emotions, creativity, concentration, and work satisfaction. So what can you do to maintain a sense of harmonious passion when it comes to your work? Well, Scott Kaufman at the Imagination Institute suggests trying these 4 steps. Firstly, try to schedule real breaks. Force yourself to get away from work by scheduling in other activities during the course of the day, like lunch with a friend or a break to hit the gym, and make time after work or on weekends for your family, friends, and other activities that you enjoy. Try to make sure that I have time to exercise every day, and I don't compromise on this no matter how busy I am. I also try to have at least one night a week for dinner with friends. Secondly, don't take work home if you can afford to. Try and leave your computer, your files, anything that's involved in your work at your office or in your home office if you work from home. Keep separate email accounts for home and work, and don't check work email when you're at home. Put up an out-of-office message if you have to, or there are some great new apps that will lock your computer during certain hours so you can't access it. This is one area I definitely have room for some improvement in. Thirdly, change your thought patterns when you work. If you have to fake the mindset of a harmoniously passionate person until you make it, then that's okay. For example, try to convert thoughts of must and need to want and choose. And at first this may feel a little bit awkward, but over time those obsessively passionate mindsets will start to dissipate, and so will the behaviours associated with it. In our team, we try and remind ourselves that we're busy with what we've said yes to, and that means there's always the option to say no, not yet, or how do we prioritise. Finally, it may be time to commit to a new hobby. Often investing too much of yourself in one project is an indication of a negative core self. So the more additional things outside of work that contribute to your positive sense of self, the less space your work performance will take up for your ego, and the smaller your chances of burnout. So perhaps it's time I rediscovered my love of yoga and found a great class. Want to try a little harmonious passion right now? Then share this video with your family and friends, especially those who might be struggling to balance their work with everything else in their lives. And if you'd like more practical and playful ideas from the latest science on human flourishing, then be sure to subscribe, or stop by michellmcquaid.com, leave your name and email address so you can hear all our news first. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching Shell McQuaid TV. Remember, you are good enough, so don't be afraid to let your strength shine. Until next time, take care.